All right, I'd like to call the meeting order. Do I hear a motion to accept the minutes of the November 10th, 2021 meeting?
Move.
Second.
Okay. Approve. I hear a motion to approve.
Aye.
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 Motion accepted. Get the communications report, the monthly operating report for November 2021.
Spin this around. So for the month of November, we averaged 3.6 million, had removal efficiencies of 98.5 BOD and 98.7 TSS. Nitrogen efficiency removal is almost 84%. We're 16 pounds under the permit. We have 1 month left. We're going to have the lowest, if something doesn't happen in December, we have the lowest year for nitrogen we ever had, which is extremely good considering the flows we had and the storms we had this summer. Average biosolids were 20.6%. Any questions on that?
No, looks very good. We have the engineer report, November 2021.
Just making sure we're adding everybody because we have more people coming up. So for the month of December, on November 2nd, 2021, we pulled pump at Tungus Road Pump Station. We did find some debris in the pump. We also cleaned the wet well before the winter. On November 4th, we installed a new stainless steel bracket for the permanganate system at West Farms. This is basically to help with odor control for Batterson pumps up the hill. So help in the winter so we don't have any cracking when it gets cold. November 10th for Centerbrook. We had a bunch of communication faults that day. That was one of the really windy days we had. That hill has always been difficult because it comes up the mountain from West Farms. It goes to Maple Ridge, then it goes to South Road and then over to Batterson. So we actually put on a bigger antenna. There's a 6 point instead of a 3, and we raised it up another 10 feet. So it's about 30 feet. We haven't had a communication fault since. We're hoping that will get rid of that problem. We had an overload on pump 2 at Harlan Road. We reset it and monitored it. Everything was okay. Centerbrook, we replaced the block feeder before the winter on the generator. And Sylvester and Sons cleaned the West Farms wet well. We met them out there on November 28th. For plant upgrades in the collection system, we installed the larger antenna, which I had already kind of covered. On November 18th, we cleaned the Yukon and the hydro wet wells. We usually do these. They're some of our bigger stations before the winter, so we don't have any issues with the transducers. We continue to clear right-of-ways and jet, weather permitting. We also had a courtesy vac and clean for Tasker's Pond Road. They have a private pump station, but they had a fault. So we ended up sucking out about 4,000 gallons that was backed up into their system. So we finally got somebody out there after that. I think everything was okay, but we just made sure we were keeping up with the flow.
But they have a private system there?
Yeah, they have a pump station that pumps out, and basically the pump's faulted, so we don't have access to the station, but it was coming up pretty quick, so we were vacuuming it out and then dumping it in the Edwards building, just so they didn't overflow anywhere. And then I guess the HOA called their maintenance personnel, and they came out there to fix it. The month of November, we used a sewer camera at Pearl Street for roots. There were none found. The lines were also clean, and we helped the highway clean out storm drains and camera any problem areas. Repairs and maintenance. We switched to lead transfer pumps from 2 and 1. One's going to run full time and lead. The clearances in pump 2 have also increased, which we kind of talked about on the watering feed pump. This is the one that we ordered the new pump through Borger. Basically over the past years, we talked about we had issues with some of the spotty pumps. So it's not that we didn't see this coming. It's just, unfortunately, we've seen more of it. So I have a call with Wright Pierce this month. We're going to see what we can do because we're basically going to proactively start replacing them. November 9th, we greased and cleaned all the odor control units. On November 10th, we installed a new primary sampler line. We can collect different samples now to basically check VFAs on the fermentation tank that we added on this summer. November 18th, we changed oil in the grit washer. And November 19th, we changed oil in all final clarifiers in preparation for freezing temperatures. We also pulled both filtrate pumps and cleaned the filtrate wet well. Usually after we have a large storm or hurricanes like we had, any grit that was in the collection system comes to the plant. So we completely cleaned everything out, flushed the lines, cleaned the pumps, again, just to get it ready for winter. And we relocated the influent sampler to prevent freezing. We had heat trace on it, but there were some mornings we came in, if the heat trace faulted and it was 10 out, we had issues with sending samples out because the line would freeze overnight. So we moved it inside the Bedrooks building. Should be it. Any questions?
I don't see the connection report. Was there any?
Not this month, there was not. So that should be it unless there's any questions.
Nothing new on the intertown agreement.
Hey, Jim, I'm having a little bit of a hard time hearing you. I can hear Mark okay, but I missed that last thing.
Okay. Is there anything new on the intertown agreement?
Thanks.
Okay, then we new business here. We've got the Willowbrook State Subdivision.
Just gonna unmute Russ.
Hi, I don't know if Russ is in this meeting yet or not. It's Chris Hoeb for,
I think I had to unmute him. I want to make sure you can hear us.
Yep, I'm here.
Okay.
I just got turned on. I don't know what was going on.
Yeah, I was trying to get you to panelist. It was just stuck for a second. We should be,
Yeah.
Everybody's on here now.
All right. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening.
So the Willowbrook subdivision has been approved at TPZ and wetlands, and it's before us tonight for final approval. And part of the project is in Plainville, and part of it's in Farmington. There are 13 homes that'll flow directly into Plainville. There are 25 homes in Plainville that will flow into Farmington, as well as 23 homes that'll flow into Farmington. It's going to be a 55 and older subdivision, similar to O'Mara Farms. Minor, little flow, won't be a capacity issue. We have a intertown agreement that we're working on. It's going to be similar to the other 5 agreements that we have with Plainville. They bill us on the other subdivisions and we pay them, and vice versa. We have never had a problem with Plainville as far as billing goes. There's no problem with capacity into our system with the subdivision, and the sewer will be privately installed by the developer. We have calculated out an assessment for a connection fee, and that's all in the works. It'll be paid for as part of the developer's permit agreement. One thing that we're going to do is the town of Farmington will do all the inspection on all the mainline sewer and lateral extensions, even in Plainville. The developer is going to pay for that through the developer's permit agreement as well. And because Plainville doesn't have any bodies for inspection. So it's in our best interest to make sure that the sewer gets put in per our details, and because it's all coming to us anyway. Not sure if anybody has any questions on the commission or the authority.
Well, it's not all coming to us. I thought it was split up, Russ. Right?
Yeah, so 13, there's 48, 61 houses, something like in that vicinity. 13 of them are gonna go to Plainville. The
Yeah,
remaining 48 are coming to Farmington.
are coming
20
to Farmington,
Yeah,
yeah. What's the reason that we're not getting the other 13?
they have access to the sewer that goes to Plainville. It's all based on elevations.
All right, there, okay.
And Jim, I heard you had a question just before, on the intertown agreements, so we can talk about that after this, if we can go back to it.
Okay, very good. All right, so is that figure, the calculation sheet, is that the figure that the connection, the developer's agreement is gonna be the 29,000?
Yes, that's the connection fee, correct, the assessment.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve.
So moved.
Second,
Moved in second, any further discussion? Hearing none, all in favor?
aye.
Motion approved.
Aye.
Does Chris wanna have any comments?
I'm sorry, was that to me?
Yes.
Oh, no, of course, we're in full support. We're really excited about this. We received a unanimous approval from Farmington and from Plainville. Our Wetlands Commission studied the property very carefully. We're already under contract. It looks like a tremendous product with high demand, 55 and older, and they're single homes. So I'm really excited to be part of this, and thank you for helping us advance the football here.
When are they breaking ground, Chris?
I think Tony's here. He may be able to answer that. He's a principal. Tony?
Yes, can everyone hear me okay? I'm not sure if my video is there, just my audio.
We can hear you.
Great, thank you. And Russ, we do appreciate all of your and Bruce's work, getting us from where we started to where we are with the Intertown agreement. I know we're almost there, but we really do appreciate the time you're spending on that for us. It's a very important agreement for us to finish our development. In terms of groundbreaking, yeah, thank you again. And in terms of groundbreaking, we've already started. We've stripped topsoil. We're demolishing the existing several structures on the house within the next 7 to 10 days. And we expect two of our first building permits to arrive by the end of this week. And we'll start our first home somewhere around mid to the end of December. And it's a total of 61 units, 55 and older. And Chris was right. We do have 39 units under contract at this point, and we're excited, robust, and we appreciate the the interest thus far. We also think it's a good project, both for the town of Plainville and for Farmington.
Great, thank you.
And we appreciate your help and your support.
So Chris, you're all set. We don't need anything else. You can stay on or leave, whatever you want to do.
Can I join you for the dinner, the staff dinner?
Absolutely. Just bring your credit card.
If I hurry, I can get over to Housings. All right. Thank you very much, everybody. And I echo Tony. Staff has been tremendous in this whole process. So thank you very much.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thanks. Thanks. Good night, all. Happy holidays.
Same to you, Tony.
Thank you.
Mark, anything we didn't cover on the Bastion pump station upgrade?
Nope, I can actually probably take that off as well.
Russ?
Back to the Intertown agreement with Avon.
Yes.
So everything has been signed, sealed, delivered. We've received our check and we are done. And it was a long process going through it.
We may not be done, but we're on our way.
Yeah. Well, after this whole thing, I highly doubt that the town of Avon is going to want to change anything in the agreement. Because the agreement that we have, as we've talked about, is in their favor, and the agreement that we propose was mutually beneficial to all, and they didn't want to talk about it anymore. So it is what it is at this point. I don't think it's not worth the effort to try and get anything. They won't go anywhere. So it took, what was it, been over 3.5, 4 years to get to where we are today, and that's to stay normal. So status quo. So
Are you saying that we're actually in agreement on the figures?
yeah, we
and
went
they
back.
Made that payment?
Yeah, everything worked out, and I think it was an additional $387,000 that they gave us, because based on the flow, on when the time, it all worked out to timing. So the flow, the increase in the flows happened prior to the upgrade, this last upgrade. So the pricing went back to the previous 94 upgrade, which saved them a boatload of money. So we are up to date there right now, based on the agreement that we have, the original agreement and everything with the updated flows. They're up to 750,000 gallons per day.
Well,
So,
congratulations on that.
Yeah, so it's to be quite honest, they probably lost a few years on that one.
Well, you got most of your hair.
You don't show it.
Yeah, when you say when you hear you can't make this up, there you go.
Mhm.
But we're done.
Patience is a virtue.
So basically, the only ongoing thing is gonna be the meters and the payments for the flow.
Right, and that they really, to be honest, they've questioned it, but I think they were questioning it because they didn't really understand it. So now our agreement states that we are to bill them on the current flow for the quarter to the current expenses for the quarter. And years ago, before we had the computers, it was just easier to do it based on the previous year flow to the budget. So we're doing everything now exactly by the agreement, and everything's real time. We can we bill everything by the existing quarter. So, and they aren't questioning it. So give it time, maybe they will.
Okay. Now, how
And
about-
Burlington should be pretty much wrapped up as well. They've agreed to put their meters in. They've agreed to do everything. It's just, their feet are stuck in concrete, I think. But their attorney told our attorney that they are all set. They agree with the agreement and what we expect out of it, which is by the agreement, put the meters in, install them, get them connected to our SCADA system. They've agreed to all that. In the meantime, we're billing them how we always have, based on units. And once they get their meters connected, we'll switch over and do the flow-based billing.
You have any indication on the timing of the flow meters?
I would say if we get it in by next July 1st, we'll be doing good. Since they waited and held off to purchase them, now we're into COVID and all the delays with materials and supplies through, the claim of COVID. So not sure when it's going to come. So that's what they were waiting on. They said they had ordered the 2 meters that they need to put in, and they will connect the other one that they have put in once they get those in. So we're waiting on the supply chain to deliver.
Now, just so they don't give us the runaround, I mean, is there something that we can help them locate the meters or anything like that?
I've called, and the supplies, and they get the same story. It's an order, and it's based on 15 different places giving them pieces and parts to make the meter. So it's really just to make, like I said, I told our attorney to tell their attorney, make sure they put the order in to get in line, so they're in line expecting the meters.
Okay,
So-
so I don't know whether put it on the calendar to check every month just to get, because it's in their best interest to drag their feet on things.
Absolutely. So I call over and talk to their superintendent, their highway super, who oversees the sewers, and we have a chat probably every 4 to 5 weeks. So I will continue to do so until we get these things in.
thought I'd read something in the news in the last month about sewers in Avon, but I can't. Is there anything that you can think of that happened the last month?
No, I, to be honest with you, I didn't see it and I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything.
I know the golf course, I think, had some big sinkholes. And somebody was showing me a picture of this sinkhole and the aviation pipe that runs up to the Bradley Airport there, I guess, was exposed by this sinkhole.
Oh, boy.
Yeah,
I didn't, yeah. Oh, boy, that's not good.
Russ, like caused by, or not Russ, sorry, Jim, caused by their sewage system?
I didn't know at the time, but I mean, I think it was more storm related than anything to do with the sewer line. Luckily. Okay, any unfinished business, Mark?
That's it.
Okay, any other business?
Yes, speaking of sinkholes and erosion, what's behind my condominiums, Russ? Where are we at on Garden Street?
I was like, open up your checkbook and we'll talk. No, I
took a walk down the hill and I'm still alive.
yeah, don't get close. We have a contractor coming. He was supposed to come last week, but the machine he brought down was a little larger than what we can fit in. He's supposed to be here end of the week, Monday, and he'll be here Friday to box out a little bit, take the road a little bit so he can walk the machine down, and we'll get that going next week.
That used to be the main shipping area from New Haven to Northampton. So you should be able to get any size machine up that track.
Exactly.
So
we're going to make a port.
There.
No, the thing is, we got those 2 or 3 manholes cover risers that we got to take off. We're going to plate them so we can back. So we'll put some process down and we'll pull the trees out. We're going to work with them to help them pull the trees out. We'll get rid of the trees. And he's going to bring in material and process, and we're going to backfill that up. We're going to put the pipe back on for an outlet. And if you go down by the river and look back up, you can see the sewer trench. It's right there.
I didn't go that last 50 feet. But
yeah. No, it's crazy. So to bring everybody up to speed, during one of the last storms, those 6-7-inch storms we received in September, we had another slope failure along our sanitary sewer trunk line comes from Stanley Works all the way down to the siphon. And it happens to be behind the condominiums on Garden Street where there was a drainage outlet that not sure what happened, but it's exposed. It's similar to the cemetery situation, but the cemetery, the sewer is about 25 feet away, I would say. The sewer is about 60 from where the sinkhole opened up. So we're back. We got about, I don't know, what do you think, Mark? About 2.5 million gallons per day coming through that trunk line.
Yeah, and the sinkhole itself, we're out there measuring. It's 14 feet deep, like 30 wide, 25 long. It's pretty substantial.
It's unbelievable. So and we have another sinkhole that opened up in the Pequabic River that started eating away the cornfield. So we got it right where there's an apex in the river. Oh, excuse me. That took away a 60-foot long swath, and it's just eroding the embankment out. It's starting to head out into our cornfield. So we got to get that. That's second after we take care of this sinkhole.
Yeah.
Hey, Russ, I don't remember there being sort of a crop up like this across, it sounds like, multiple regions. Is that normal for Connecticut, or any sort of broad intuition that you can share around that?
It just, I think we're very unfortunate to get that amount of water in what was it, 4 weeks? It was crazy. I think it's just a freak of nature. We haven't had that amount of rain. God, I want to say '07 was when we had an abundance amount of rain, and even more to our west, which caused a lot of flooding and which caused the damage on the cemetery part of the embankment. But I just think it's just, you know, unfortunate. That's all. And I hope we aren't in another situation like that again. I had water in places I've never seen water before.
But the good news is that the plant was able to handle the excess flow, and it was a good trial.
Right, twice in 4 weeks. Yeah, no.
We did 15 million the first storm and 20.6 the second, which I don't even know if we were ever that high here in the past.
No, I think the highest we got up to was like 18.9, almost. It was almost 19. But did you guys talk about it all? And I apologize for being late. I had another thing I was at. Did you talk at all about the budget coming up?
We did not. We didn't discuss it. No.
All right. So one thing I just want to bring up, and I don't want to keep everybody and belabor this, but I just start thinking about what you feel comfortable with. If we need an increase, if we're good to have an increase, do we stay status quo? No increase. We're working on the budget numbers right now, and it looks like we need a little bit of an increase, like somewhere in the $5 to $10 range per resident, the residential rate. And we haven't had an increase in 5 years through the whole upgrade plus last year. And it's more for capital. Right. And one thing I want to point out that Mark won't tell you, he'll be very nonchalant about it, but he's done an excellent job with our nitrogen. And if you recall, several years ago, we were up near 100,000 we had to purchase. We're down, we're pretty much flat. So we may be in the $10,000 to $15,000 range.
3,000.
So 3,000. And he's done a great job working on things and getting some more bugs into the system to reduce that nitrogen. So that's going to help out tremendously on our budget. But even with that cost saving, I think last year we were at 35 or 50,000 mark.
4,800 actually. We were low, and then this year we might even be under. But
yeah, right. I mean, for the budget, budgetary number.
Oh, correct. Yes.
So we're going to shift that to help with different increases that we're going to experience. But I just want you all to kind of think about it, mull it over, and in January you'll see the budget and for the operating and capital. But I just want you to guys, want everybody to, think about where you're comfortable with what we're going to do and what we're going to go forward with the budget, and we'll come in and meet that number. That's all. I just want to have you start thinking about it just to give you an idea. That's all.
Wouldn't the biggest item would be any pump station upgrades? I mean, are you anticipating that this year?
The three things we discussed for capital were Harlan Road, Tungsten, and Allstate. The generators are 50 years old. We do have them load banked and tested, but I just talked to the maintenance manager, and our discussion was if we had another storm like we did, that we were out of power for 2 weeks, we're getting to the point where we're expecting something that's 50 years old to run for 10, 14 days. And it should, but it's time to replace them. The other one is we want to put capital for the dewatering presses just to increase that. And then some of the primary pumps are going to be ordering, but I want to discuss that with Red Pierce too. So basically dewatering and some of the pump stations. And Russ, if I forgot anything.
Yeah, so no, that's good. We don't have any plans to replace any for this year. We just don't have the money because we've been banking money over the years. We're going to continue to fund that through our capital program. So I think in 2 years we'll be good to go there for another pump station. We also have the ARPA money, I don't know, is Joe still on? I forget what the acronym stands for, ARPA from the federal government, that we're looking to take that money because of the requirements that come with it are economic development, tourism, water infrastructure, and wastewater infrastructure. So if you remember, I think it was 2 summers ago when we had that issue at West Farms Mall pump station where the volute blew up. And a lot of the reason that happened, as we said, was the pumps are 100-horse pumps, and they don't operate very well with the head that it's got to pump. It pumps, 164 feet, Mark?
Yeah, that hill goes up.
Yeah.
something like that.
200 feet, and those pumps are the same horsepower as our pumps here. The
Right.
pumps in the plant will do 2,000 a minute. West Farms does 250 a minute, and it just cavitates, and it wrecks all the cast iron in those loops.
So what we've proposed is to build a pump station across from Orchard Road on South Road.
Yeah.
That would cut the elevation, cut the head in half, reducing the pumps almost in half. And so that West Farms would pump up to the South Road pump station, then pump up to Berkshire Drive. But by reducing the size of the pumps, it increases the pump capacity curve. So everything's going to work better and function better, and make the pumps last longer, and hopefully give us less problems. Not that we have a lot of problems, knock on wood. We have a spare pump for over there should something go wrong. But that's what we're recommending for that money to be used for that wastewater project.
Now, do we own enough property there to put a pump station?
Yes.
Yeah.
We have plenty of room. And
It would just be downhill from the playground.
correct. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it would be sized, obviously, to take on Fairview, Orchard, Elon, South Road, all those houses in there. Should some pump or sewers project ever develop in the future, they'd be able to tie into that system. And the one thing with the good thing about using this ARPA money is we don't take any money from the town. We don't have to go to referendum, and it's falling into the guidelines from ARPA. So, and we don't take any money out of our budget in the WPCA. So to me, it's a big bonus to get that and help with the West Farms Mall pump station. It fits in under economic development, helping keeping West Farms running smoothly. So I think it's a win-win for us as a commission, or the WPCA.
Well, when would you be in a position to kick something like that off? I mean, and how much time does planning involve? And
So
2 to 3 years.
Yeah, we've been working with Dave Prickett Engineering, DPC Engineering. We've been talking with him about it. We've done a little preliminary design work, just very preliminary schematic stuff. Looking at pump curves and things like that. We're going to have to, based on the cost of it, we're going to have to put it out to RFP, because it's going to be a $150,000 design. So we're going to have to go out to RFP, get that going. We expect to get that going once we get approval from the town council, and there's a little ad hoc committee for this ARPA money, get the approval to move forward, and we'll hopefully get that out in January for the design work. And we're looking, hopefully I would like to get it done in 6 to 9 months, the design. That'll get us out bidding in September, October-ish. Even early winter for the actual construction of the station, with a start of 2023 construction.
as far as that ARPA money, is there something that's unique about that project as far as applicable planning to use those funds, or could those same funds be, for any pump station improvement?
It could be for any pump station improvement, anything wastewater infrastructure related. I think one of the things is we got to spend the money as soon as possible, type of thing.
All right, very good. Okay, motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second, any discussion? All in favor?
Mr. Chair, can I say something?
Yep.
Everybody, I just wanted to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Thank you for everything you guys are doing. I really appreciate everybody's time, volunteer work. It's been a great year, and hopefully we continue on to next year. So have a great holiday season, guys and ladies.
You too.
Thank you, Joe.
Thanks. Merry Christmas, everybody.